What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully this isn't the first time you're watching one of my videos, but in case it is, I'm a third year medical student studying at King's College London, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a huge Q&A for you guys. I want to say a massive thank you to every one of you guys who's clicked on my videos, who supported me in the last couple of years of being in medical school. Honestly, you guys are amazing. Being on YouTube has gotten me so far in life. I've met the most amazing people. I've got to interact with you guys as well. And yeah, it's just given me so much freedom, and I really love you guys for that. So when I was in Bali, I sent out a post on my Instagram and I asked you guys to send me in loads of questions, like any sorts of questions, any random questions, anything personal, and that's exactly what you guys did. So I have a huge, I don't know if you can see that, but I have a huge bunch of questions that you guys sent through. Thank you so much for sending these through, guys. It's a Sunday, I'm chilling in my room, and it's like 100 degrees in here. It's honestly so hot. But I think it'd be just cool to sit down with you guys, or have you sitting watching me answer all these questions. So this is probably going to be like quite a long video. As I said, it's quite a few questions, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Oh yeah, and it's likely to be like quite a niche video. Like, I imagine not many of you would want to sit down here and listen to me answer random questions. So it's going to be quite a niche video, which is why I don't really mind making a long video. I hope I do manage to answer all the questions that you guys asked. But yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Before we start the video, guys, I really want to tell you guys about a program here at King's, which I think will be really beneficial for you. So stick around for the next 1 minute to hear about this program. So this program is a K+ program, which is run here at King's, and applications are currently now open. It's a 2-year-long program of activities, events, and workshops as well. And the aim of this program is to help you support your university application to reach your maximum potential as an undergraduate student. It's currently aimed at Year 12 students in non-selective schools in Greater London. There are specifically 7 different subject streams here on the K+ program. To name a few, there is dentistry, there's healthcare, there's history and politics, law, maths, and computer science as well. And I definitely advise you to take some time to see which stream and what type of subjects will suit you best. Because by choosing the right subject stream, you'll be able to take part in events and activities, and it'll be tailored to your area of your subject of interest. A really big part of this program is basically to help you with your university application. It's to try and make you stand out for the rest, and trying to make your university application as strong and as competitive as possible. And once you actually get to university, to make the most of it while you're here. One of the huge highlights of the K+ program is a summer school. It's a free, non-residential program packed full of activities. For example, you'll be able to attend one of the academic tutorials, which will be led by a King's PhD tutor. There'll be loads of like different information sessions on applying to university, on the actual application process, on financing university, and also on your personal statement as well. You'll also get to have really good tours of the King's campuses, the libraries as well, just to get what a feeling of being at King's is like. There'll be loads of fun social events as well, where you can meet different people, and also loads of group challenges and competitions as well. One of the really big things about this whole program, which I really push forward, is that if you do get onto the program, you're offered a lower grade boundary, which is normally by 1 grade. So for example, if you apply for like medicine and your entry requirement is AAA, King's will actually give it to you for AAB. So especially if you're applying to medicine or dentistry, you will get a specific consideration for your application in particular. And once you start the course as well, you'll be able to apply for a £1,000 grant to help you with your first year. What I'm going to do is leave a link in the description down below. Go check the link out, let them know that I sent you, and hopefully you'll get onto K+ program, and hopefully you can have the best application possible for university. But enough of that, let's get on to the Q&A. Alright, so the first question is from Tarek. Tarek asks, how do you keep track of your finances? So living in London is quite expensive, and being a student in general is really expensive, because obviously you don't have your parents there to pay for you, pay for stuff for you like when you're younger. How I manage my finances is I use an app called Monzo. So Monzo is like a credit card app. You get like a bank card, and every time I pay for something, it kind of makes a record of everything I've spent. You can then set different budgets for like different things. So I can say I'm going to spend £50 this week on food only, and it keeps track of all your spending. That's the first thing I do. The second thing that I do is at the start of every single year, I make like an Excel spreadsheet of all of the money coming into my account and all of the money I'm expecting to leave my account, and see whether or not that balances. And then whatever money I budget is what I spend for the rest of the year, basically. So that's the first question. All right, so the second question is from Rory. Rory asked, do you know what speciality you would like to go into? If not, would you like to go into core medical training or core surgical training? Yeah, it's a really good question. Right now, I'm probably thinking about going into obstetrics and gynecology, maybe dermatology, maybe psychiatry. I'm not entirely sure. I really like surgery as well, so I might go into core medical training, I might go into core surgical training. But right now I'd probably say that dermatology and obstetrics and gynecology are the highest on my list. The next question is from Prams. Do you have any book recommendations for medical students? That video will either be out now already or will be coming out, so stay tuned for that. Next question is by Prams again. What inspired you to take on the medical field? So actually from a very young age, I've always wanted to do science, not necessarily medicine. I really wanted to be a biomedical scientist. I don't know if you guys have seen Dexter's Laboratory.
I cannot complete my creation under such circumstances.
If you have, let me know down in the comments below. But I absolutely loved science and I wanted to be a scientist. But when I got a bit older, I kind of decided that being medicine is the best way to be a scientist and also be a doctor. You can save lives on the spot and you can also work in a lab, as I do now, to change the future. So yeah, so I always wanted to be a scientist, and yeah, I just decided I can do both, so why not? Next question is from Maria. Maria has quite a few questions, but she asks, how do you get these placements abroad in the summer, and who pays for the flights and hotels? So as some of you may know, over the last summer just now, I was in Taiwan for 4 weeks. I did quite a bit of research and I made a whole vlog on it, so go check it out if you haven't watched the vlog yet. But basically, I sent a bunch of emails to a bunch of people, and I asked if I can go and and work with people and work in a lab for 4 weeks. I made a video on how to get research placements. Go check that video out as well, because that's just essentially how I arranged it. In terms of paying for my living, I got a grant from the British Association of Dermatologists. So if you go onto Google, you can type in British Association of Dermatologists summer research student grant, and they paid for my accommodation. I got a bit of money to pay for my living, and yeah, that's what I did. She also asks, how much self-study would you recommend in first year? It really is up to you. It really does depend on how good you want to do and what balance you want between your life and your work. I'd recommend outside of learning, maybe doing around 1 or 2 hours a day in the library after lectures. She also asks, what's the best way to revise for your first year exams? I made a video on how I revise for my exams, so go check that out. And lastly, how to take notes in lectures. Do you use laptop or do you use written hand notes? I like to use a laptop, so I use this program called Microsoft OneNote. I download all the lecture slides and I type along the lecture slides for any extra information that the lecturer has. Next question she asks is, how would you recommend any first year to prepare for medical school? Honestly, before medical school, I did no preparation at all. I wouldn't really recommend doing it. Just have fun, enjoy your summer. When you finally start medical school, you can start doing some more work. Tarek asks, are you interested in taking part in Doctors Without Borders? I've actually done a lot of research onto this. I really want to do something like humanitarian in the future. When I graduate from medical school, maybe after my F2 year, I'd love to do something with Doctors Without Borders. So if you guys are watching this Doctors Without Borders, please hit me up. I'd love to work with you. Kennedy asks, are you friends with Ali Abdal? Yeah, so we're not personal friends. We follow each other on Instagram. I think I've spoken to him once or twice. Yeah, so we know of each other. A really nice guy. I really support his videos. I really support everything he does. So yeah, that answers the question. Kennedy also asks, which part of Kenya are you from? I'm from Nairobi. My mum is from Nakuru. But yeah, I was born and bred in Nairobi. He also asks, what are your thoughts on the UK MLA situation? Not gonna lie, I don't really know too much about that. He also asks, what are your opinions on studying medicine abroad in Bulgaria, for example? Yeah, I mean, if you want to study medicine abroad, definitely go for it. Personally, for me, that's not something I wanted to do. I didn't want to have to learn a new language. I didn't want to have to change my countries, from where I'm from. I really love London. I really love England. I don't want to leave my friends and my family. And yeah, I just didn't want to learn medicine in a different country. That was my personal reason. But if you want to do that and it's something you want to do, then definitely, yeah, it's not a bad thing to do. Niam, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Someone asked me, anonymous, but she asks, do you have any advice for activities to enhance your medical school per statement in sixth form? Yeah, just do anything extracurricular. So just things like a sports team leader, be on a sports team, get a job. I'd also recommend doing stuff like Duke of Edinburgh Award, anything to add to your personal statement, doing any extra projects, anything to do with volunteering. Obviously all of the medical work experience you need, in a GP hospital, stuff like that. Read a lot of books as well. You can put on your personal statements. Try and get some experience in the area that you want to go into. So if you want to do lab work, if you want to do biomedical science, try to get some lab work experience, anything of the sort. It's just thank you so much for your videos. They're so inspiring, and I'm learning so much. Thank you so much for that. MKW asks, do you like drawing? I used to love drawing so much, actually. I did art in A-level. I used to love drawing and painting and all that kind of stuff, but unfortunately now in med school, I don't really have that much time anymore. but I'd love to go back to drawing. Gwen Stanley asks, how do you get so hench? I don't really see myself as hench, thank you so much. But yeah, no, I work out around 5 or 6 days a week. I play sports, I eat like quite healthily. Yeah, I mean, fitness is a big part of my life, so that's what I do. Hayden asks 2 questions. First question he asks is, if you could become a doctor in any country, where would it be? Right now, London for sure, London's not a country, England for sure. I really want to train in England, but later on, I'd love to become a doctor in like a really hot country, somewhere like Australia. Australia sounds really cool, all the beaches and stuff. Maybe like in Kenya as well. I love Kenya so much, so maybe I'd go back to being a doctor in Kenya. Who knows? He also asks, what's your favorite thing about traveling the world with medicine? I think just like learning the different cultures and just like meeting like different types of personalities. When I was in Taiwan, I met the most amazing people, very, very different to me, but we got along so well. So I think just like learning about different cultures, learning the different type of personalities in this world, and yeah, just making friends with like random people. A man asks, what is some good advice you think we should have before dashing off to uni? I'd say travel. I'd say like before going to uni, take an opportunity just to travel the world, meet different people, have new experiences, say yes to a lot of things. So if someone asks you like to hang out, say yes, like meet different people, just travel the world and have loads of fun before you start university. Because once you start medical school or once you start university, things get a lot more serious. So enjoy yourself, enjoy your life before coming to university. Ashna asks, a lesson you learned during all your trips this summer. Probably the biggest lesson I learned this summer is that people would much rather help you than hurt you. Everyone has this kind of misconception that traveling is dangerous and like, what if you run into trouble? I ran into no trouble at all. I met the most helpful, amazing people. Like when I got lost in Bali, when my phone died, there was no signs, no one spoke English. I met some random people and they helped me get back to my hotel. So yeah, I guess just trust people and trust the world. People are like, there are some people that will be out there to hurt you, but as a whole, just generally, people would much rather help you than hurt you. Elizabeth asks, what's your best holiday destination so far? Definitely Bali. I think Taiwan as an experience was the best experience because I met the best people in the world. But as like, just in terms of the country itself, Bali was amazing. Like Indonesia was amazing. I'm going to be releasing a Bali vlog soon, so stay tuned for that. Penda asks, how is life in London? Life in London is honestly amazing. I love being in the capital city. There's always so many different things to do. There's always so many different people to meet. There's just so much life and culture in London. Obviously, my last degree, I was in Birmingham, and Birmingham was amazing as well. But London is just like huge. Like you never get tired of things to do in London. There's just so many stuff to do. Banana asks, what are your turn-ons? I like a girl who's like smart, intelligent, someone who's funny, someone who's independent, someone who has their life in place, someone who's career-driven. Yeah, those are my turn-ons, I guess you can say. Next question is, what is your favorite and least part about medical school? My favorite part is definitely the hospitals. Like, I love being on hospitals. I love being on the wards. I love having responsibility to help people. That's my favorite part completely. Also dissection. Like, I know I sound like a crazy person, but in first year, I love dissecting human bodies. That's my favorite thing to do. My least favorite parts about medical school is there is just so much content. Like, we have exams like every 2 months we have exams. We have exam in November, January, and then March, and then May. Like, we have so many exams. It can be quite hard to like keep up with all the knowledge and to keep up with all the information you have to stay up to date with. But other than that, I absolutely love medical school and having the best time of my life. Farhin asks, what has been your biggest challenge on placement so far? I think just like seeing all the unwell people, all the people who are dying, that can be quite hard at first to kind of deal with. But I think you definitely develop a bit of a tolerance to it and you learn how to deal with it in your own way. Raheem asks, how did you manage your finances well enough to travel around Asia while self-funding? So I kind of travel smart. So in each location, I try to stay with a family member or someone I knew. So in Taiwan, that was paid for, as I told you. In Japan, I stayed with my dad. In the Philippines, I stayed with a friend and also my auntie. In Bali, I found really cheap accommodation. So traveling doesn't actually cost that much money. Like, obviously, the ticket is the most expensive part, and like flying there is the most expensive part. Once you actually get to like that side of Asia, Asia is so cheap, and I actually like ended up saving so much money. London is way more expensive than any other part of Asia. So yeah, I guess I just didn't really spend that much. Alima asks, how do you deal with failure and rejection? Please no obvious answers like let's move on in this life. No, rejection can be like quite a hard thing to deal with, and it's something I do try to deal with and struggle to deal with today. I think the main way that I dealt with failure in my past is just realizing that your life is way more like, it's way more than what's on a piece of paper. It's way more than like what your boss thinks of you. Your life is, you know, it's like piece of paper is a piece of paper. Like, it doesn't really determine who you are as a person. I think like the measure of wealth of someone is not like how successful they are in life, how much money they have. It's actually when you take away all your possessions, all of your career stuff, like what are you still worth as a person? So it's just realizing that, okay, maybe I won't pass an exam, maybe I didn't get into medical school the first time, but that's not representative of how smart I am, or, you know, how good I am in school. So it's just like not taking it personally and realizing that your value is way more than what's on a piece of paper. Okay, next question is from Algeroon. Like, I'm not even gonna try to say the name. Really hard name. They ask, how do you study for the UCAT? I studied for the UCAT by using a book called Kaplan. It was like Kaplan, score higher in the UCAT. I used that book to revise for around a week or so, and that gave me like a strategy to like rely on for the UCAT. So I used that for around a week or 2 weeks, and then I used Medify online to have all the practice questions to practice all the hard questions. Gwen Stanley asks, how are you so hot? How's your dating life in uni? And what is your type of girl? Right, yeah, I don't really know what to say. Thank you so much. How's your dating life in uni? My dating life is just going alright, I guess. Yeah, I'm single. Dating life in uni, I guess, it's not too bad. And what is your type of girl? My type of girl, as I mentioned previously, is someone who's motivated, someone who's careers driven, someone who's cultured, someone who you know, can motivate me as I motivate them as well. Someone who's funny, like enjoys spending time with their family. Someone who's independent, someone who's like not needy. Yeah, long list, but that's normally the type of girl I go for. Other stuff like that as well. Next question is, can you explain what neuroscientists do? This is from Uyanga. I guess neuroscientists just work in a lab like me. It depends on what type of neuroscientist you are, but I imagine you'd work on brain samples from deceased patients, and you'd use different experiments to try and uncover the physiology of the brain and how it works. Okay, next question is from Logan. Outside of lectures, how long do you study on an average day? Outside of lectures, maybe around 2 hours a day. Yeah, around 2 hours a day, I'd say. Dav asks, who's the guy you're staying with? I guess you mean in Bali. I'm staying with one of my best friends here at King's called Amin. He'll be on the Bali vlog as well, and on one of my most recent vlogs, so you'll see that as well. Shot of Med asks, what are your tips for getting a first-class degree? First-class degree, I'd say do really well in your exams. Like, obviously you have to do really well in your exams, and put a lot of focus into your dissertation. Put a lot of hours into your dissertation. I think I was in the labs from like 8 AM to like 7 PM. Spend so much time working on my dissertation, and start your dissertation a lot earlier than what they say. My dissertation wasn't supposed to start until January. I started writing my dissertation like a month before that during the Christmas holidays. At least write your introduction and whatever you can for the information that you have. Next question is, if you could again, would you redo your A-levels, take a gap year and reapply, or do a degree or grad med? I wouldn't change a single thing. Like, honestly, doing biomedical science was the best thing for me. One of the best things I've ever done in my life. I made the most amazing friends. I had the most amazing journey. So yeah, I wouldn't really change a thing. I think like things happen for a reason, and you can never really like connect the dots looking forwards. You can only really connect the dots looking backwards. And looking back at my life, it all makes sense. Like, I'm so glad I did. I went down the career path I did. I'm so glad I did biomed. And it changed my life forever. It made me a much better person and made me much better suited for doing medicine, I'd say. The next question is from Physician Associate, and he asks, how much did you save in total for your Southeast Asia trip? To be honest with you, I didn't really plan it out financially. As a whole, I'd probably spent, I'd say, around £1,500 to £2,000, which is a lot of money, and my bank account is suffering right now. I'm in a lot of debt, but it was really worth it. Yeah. Next question is from Kisa, and he asks, was student debt a big concern due to doing both biomedical sciences and medicine? Honestly, like, I understand, like, to some people, having a lot of debt can be a bit of a concern. For me personally, it wasn't really a concern because, yeah, I mean, debt is just a number. Like, it's a number in a bank account. It was either, like, I don't come from a rich family, and it was either the choice of being a doctor and going to medical school, or making money and not going to medical school. And I think, like, what's the most important thing is enjoying your life and enjoying what you do every single day. So yeah, I may have debts from my student finance, but I love my life so much, and I love what I'm doing every single day. and that just keeps me motivated. So yes, I have debt, and I will pay it back one day, and at least I'll have a good, stable job that will allow me to pay my debt back. But to be honest with you, yeah, debt wasn't really a concern for me. Next question is from Musa, and he asks, do you think it's possible to do 4 years of pharmacy and then do medicine afterwards? Yeah, definitely, why not? Like, I have a lot of friends who did pharmacy and who are doing medicine now. So Steve Robbins asks, how did you get so lean? To answer it honestly, leading up to summer, I kind of always had gone like a bit of a diet, so I still train in the gym every single day, but I track my calories during that period of time, and yeah, I just try and diet leading up to summer. He also asks, what age did you start working out? I started working out when I was 16 years old, so 7 years ago. I know I don't look like it, but I've been working out for about 7 years. And yeah, I haven't really taken a break from the gym longer than like 3 weeks. I work out, yeah, literally like every single, well, as often as I can. Zanim asks, tips for first year med students. I don't know how to prepare for how difficult it will be. As I said before, just enjoy your life. Once you start medical school, then you can start thinking about like what sort of stuff to do. But I wouldn't really say that you should prepare. I didn't prepare at all for my first year of medical school. Just enjoy your summer, enjoy your life. Don't worry about it. You'll do great when you start medical school. Zachary asks, who's better at ping pong, you or Nasir? Obviously me. I have a video out there on my vlog showing me smashing him, so obviously me. Yash asks, do you think it's better? Do you think it looks better for a biomed student to have a research background for going into medicine? Definitely. I'd say do as much research as you can. Research is like turning into a huge thing in medicine, so the more like you're engaged in research, the better it is for your application and just being a doctor in general. Okay, so I've just had to change positions because it's so bloody hot in my room. The sun is literally shining on my face and my camera actually overheated. Change positions and put some shorts on, so let's carry on with the Q&A. So Nasir asks, what steps do you take to reflect and be introspective about your past experiences? So my view on this has actually changed. So I used to be a sort of person that would like constantly go over the past. Like I'd try and like relive every moment of my past and see how I can constantly grow from it and just reminisce a lot. And I realized I spent a lot of time thinking about the past and a lot of time also thinking about the future. And I started reading this book called The Power of Now. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend you do. But it basically talks about how, as human beings, we have like a natural tendency to fill up our time in our head looking at the past and think about the past or the future, being anxious about the future or reliving like mistakes in your past or just things that you've done in your past. What it talks about is a true key to happiness is just living in the present moment, to like not thinking about the past too much. Like obviously, if you make a mistake in your life, like learn from it. Let it change your principle. Make sure you remember it and make sure you learn from it. Once you've decided to learn from it, move on and like don't ever come back to it again. So that's what I've decided to do recently, is just live in the moment, live in the present. Living the present is the only time that actually exists in your life, and it's actually the true key to happiness that the book says, and I think it's true. So yeah, my outlook on that has changed. Okay, next question is from Uwa Isibor. He asks, if you didn't want a career in medicine, what else would you do? Good question. If not medicine, I probably would have gone into maybe doing a PhD, going into science anyways, doing some research. If not that, I'd probably do business. So when I realized that there is a big chance I might not get into medicine, I remember sitting down for like a couple of hours and making this huge business plan about how I'm gonna have a bit backup business in like making a gym in Kenya. Like if I didn't get into medical school, another part of me was like, you know what? Like screw this, let me just get a flight to Kenya, go back to Kenya and start a whole business idea, come up with like a gym. I have no idea what I was thinking, but I'm really interested in business anyways. So if not like research, if not medicine, probably go into something like into business or something meaningful, like maybe being like going into the police. I don't know. Like thank God like medicine happened, but that's probably what I would have done. Okay, to Art and Science asks, what are you not looking forward to next year, if anything? What I'm not looking forward to, I'm not looking forward to long hours being in the library. Like that gets so hard, that gets so boring. Not looking forward to like revising for my exams. Like I love like being in medical school, but I don't like who really likes sitting in a library like for 10 hours a day? Like you must be crazy if you enjoy sitting in a library and doing that stuff, because yeah, I definitely don't. So I'm not looking forward to revising for my exams. They also ask, what are you most looking forward to next year? Just I think having more responsibility and like getting that much closer to being a doctor. Like, every single year in medical school, whenever you level up a year, you get like more responsibility. You're able to do more skills, to do more things in the hospital. Like they actually let you do more stuff. So definitely just having more responsibility. and getting closer to being a real doctor. Because yeah, every year, as I said, every year you pass in medical school gets more real, and it gets more real to actually being a doctor. So that's what I'd say. To Art and Science also asks, what are your goals and plans for the next academic year? A few things I'm looking forward to, things I want to get accomplished is, I want to become a first author. I want to have like my name on a first author paper, like me writing it myself. Obviously I've had publications in the past, but it hasn't been first author. So I'd like to get that done. I really want to like continue growing this YouTube channel and making it bigger. I want to like post more videos and give more content to you guys. I want to be in the top 10% of the year. Like, it'll be nice to get a merit. I would love to, what else I want to do? Yeah, just keep like developing as a person, getting more into fitness and stuff like that. Those are my main goals this year, I'd say. Next question is from Ronak. Ronak asks, any things to buy before starting medical school? I'd say get yourself a stethoscope, get yourself a good laptop and a good tablet, get yourself the Oxford Book of Clinical Medicine, which is like my Bible in medical school. Get yourself some good clinical clothes. You will need to dress like a doctor, so get like a nice pair of clinical clothes that you find comfortable and you like wearing. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'd say recommend for you guys to get before medical school. Next question is from Med Student's Journey, and she asks, do you have to do any summer prep for the next year medical school? Love your videos. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, the prep I need to do. So what I decided to do this summer is to spend a bit of time looking at my lectures ahead of time. It doesn't make sense really, but in King's, our final exams in January, meaning that, well, in third year, meaning that, yeah, I would have skipped, or I wouldn't have seen half the content. And this is a really, really big exam. How well we do in this exam is going to determine what jobs we get. Well, 20% of our application for our foundation year jobs as doctors. So I really want to do well. I want to get ahead of the game. So what I'm doing to prepare for the next year is looking over the lectures ahead of time, listening to them, making notes on them, for the 2 modules that I wouldn't have sat by January. But first and second year, you don't really need to do like any summer prep, I wouldn't say. QWERTY asks, any pre-med degree suggestions for graduate entry medicine? Yes, definitely. So it's things like biomedical science, nursing, pharmacy, anything science related, so genetics, anatomy, anything to do with science, I'd say would really, really set you up well for a degree in medicine as a graduate. Med Student's Journey asks also, what's your favourite thing about King's? My favourite thing about King's, I'd say, is the fact that we get to do cadaver dissection in first year. We actually got the chance to like dissect real human bodies, which I absolutely loved. So definitely that. Also the fact that it's like it's situated in the middle of central London, like the best location ever. Like you can't really get better than this location. Like you're next to Shard, you're next to the River Thames, you're next to London Bridge, you're next to Borough High Street. You're in the best location. Like I dare say this is the best located medical school in the world, in my opinion. That's what I'd say. Next question is, what are some of your best experiences as a medical student during clinical placements? Definitely like hands down delivering a baby. Go check out one of my videos, but I talked about the time that I delivered a baby by C-section and also like a normal vaginal delivery. That was amazing. Like getting to be the first person in the whole entire world to touch a baby was the best thing like I've ever done in my life. Yeah, just generally being on hospital, on the wards, like not feeling like a spare part anymore, and not feeling like you're there on work experience and actually being part of the team. That's just absolutely what I love. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much all the questions. Yeah, I'd say that's like pretty much all the questions. I'm sorry if I missed out any of your questions. I think I pretty much got through all of them. In case I did, just send me a DM and I'll be happy to answer it in private. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. I want to say like a huge thank you to you guys for being a part of my journey. As I said, this video is for reaching 5,000 subscribers. Hopefully, like we can grow to 50,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers. Hopefully, like we can change the world together. Yeah. So if you're watching this, I appreciate you so much, and yeah, I just really appreciate you. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you're smiling through the camera, and I'll see you guys on the next video.